Hello, I'd like to talk to you about texting and driving today. 11 teenagers die every day as a result of texting and while driving. According to a AAA poll, 94% of teen drivers acknowledge the dangers of texting and driving, but only 35% admitted to doing it anyways. 21% of teenage drivers involved in fatal accidents were distracted by their cell phones. Here's just one shocking statistic that will make you think twice about grabbing your phone while driving. The National Safety Council reports that cell phone use while driving leads to 1.6 million crashes each year. That's right, 1.6 million. 1 out of 4 car accidents in the United States is caused by texting and driving. That's right, 25%. The rate of cell phone distraction is alarmingly high. With a little information, you should be able to make the smart choice and not to text and drive while on the road. Per the National Highway and Traffic Safety Administration, drivers in their 20s are 23% of the drivers in all fatal car crashes, but are 27% of the distracted drivers and 38% of the distracted drivers who are using cell phones in the fatal crashes. The time for change is now. We must demand that there is consistency from one state to another for those who are caught texting and driving. Per Huffington Post article, 10 statistics that capture the dangers of texting and driving. Texting and driving is far from unusual. A staggering 49% of the adults admitted to texting and driving, even though 98% of those adults say they know the practice is unsafe. What is wrong with those people? The percentage of drivers texting, text messaging, or visibly manipulating a handheld device increased from 1.7% in 2013 to 2.2% in 2014, so the problem is getting worse. Since 2007, young drivers ages 16 to 24 have been observed manipulating electronic devices at a higher rate than the older drivers. The National Highway and Traffic Administration statistics compiled in recent years show that every day in the U.S., 9 people die and over 1,153 are injured in distracted driver crashes. In 2014, 3,179 people were killed and 431,000 were injured in motor vehicle crashes involving distracted drivers. 10% of all drivers ages 15 to 19 years old involved in fatal car crashes were reported as being distracted at the time of the crash. This age group has the largest proportion of drivers who were distracted at the time of the crashes. At any given daylight moment across America, approximately 660,000 drivers are using cell phones or manipulating an electronic device while driving, a number that has held steady since 2010. The problem is not getting any better. According to a State Farm poll, smartphone ownership is growing in America. In 2011, 52% of drivers reported owning smartphones, and by 2014, the number had grown to 80%. The greatest increase in smartphone ownership are among adults ages 40 and older. When you text and drive, you need to spend looking off the road. The time you spend looking off the road increases by 400%. Driving is already dangerous enough by the distractions of nature alone. Why make it 4 times worse? Texting and driving is 6 times more likely to get you into a car accident than drunk driving. That's right, it's safer to get wasted and get behind the wheel than it is to text and drive. Yet we all know how strict states are on drinking and driving. Why is it texting and driving is more socially acceptable? This is where the federal government needs to step in and make all the states consistent with the penalties for being caught while texting and driving. While some states are lenient, others are almost over the top. Almost. Alaska by far has the strongest penalty of up to a $10,000 fine and a year in prison for the first offense. California has the smallest minimum fine, which is $20 per offense. 2 states, Arizona and Montana, have no bans or penalties for texting while driving whatsoever. That is insane. In some states, texting while driving can result in a criminal misdemeanor charge, either Class B or Class C. It's still just a misdemeanor. It is an offense. If an offense has resulted in bodily injury to another driver, jail or prison time may be imposed too. I've offered some staggering examples of just how dangerous texting and driving is. It's up to you to take the pledge to end distracted driving. Make the commitment to drive phone-free today. Protect the lives by never texting and driving. Be a good passenger and speak out if your driver is distracted in driving. Encourage your friends, family, and loved ones to drive phone-free. We can make a difference. Governments and safety organizations and parents and schools all offer information that proves just how dangerous this combination of texting and driving is. The problem is getting drivers of all ages to not only absorb this information, but to react in a responsible manner to this hazard is extremely difficult. The modern age of instant communication is just too attractive a nuisance as it applies to texting and driving. And here's an alarming thing. Much of the young drivers, those most at risk for causing these accidents due to texting while driving, admit they've been told about this danger. Still, they persist in taking this risk. And they may only curtail this activity after someone they personally knew died due to an accident caused by texting and driving. It's up to us to change it all. Thank you.